Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Before I even get started, let me just say I love this movie. I love this movie. It's a TV movie, but I love it. Okay? Trying to get this going. So I had it adjusted, but I guess not. Yeah. We were talking about on day 24, 22, because day 22. I'm about Big Time Movie, the TV movie film for Big Time Rush, which was a series from 2010 to 2013, I think it was. If you're watching this wondering, Scotty, you said Fun Size was next. Because I thought it was, because my gallery, sometimes on my phone when I download pictures for thumbnails, they will put it all the way down at the bottom of my gallery because of a date that it has on it. So, because it dates in 2011, it's all the way down at the bottom. So I didn't see it. And I didn't have my notebook, handy. So, yes, I also explained this in the Fun Size review, which I've already recorded at this point. But, Big Time Movie. I love this movie. I do. I love the show. Big Time Rush, which is about a boy band made of four hockey playing friends from Minnesota. But Kendall, the main guy, has a dream of being a musician. However, he's only able to go, I believe this is how it works, he auditions for Gustavo Rock, who's one of the main characters, he's their manager, and he gets the job, but says he'll only go if his friends come too, which, of course, they can sing, but did you know that before you said it? Who knows? So they go to California to live the dream of recording music, and basically it's all the shenanigans that they get into on the way to do it. And in this film, they are starting off their first ever world tour, and they're starting off in London, England. And of course, because of such things, it becomes a James Bond-esque Beatles spy film. When I say Beatles, I mean John, Paul, George, and Ringo Beatles. Like, that's, yeah. Which, I didn't look it up, but I don't know if they ever actually did. I know they did animated films. Did they do live action films? Spy films? Seems more James Bond than anything. Even got a bald henchman with some kind of deformity on his hands. The main villain is always petting a cat. This is more a spoof of James Bond than it is the Beatles, besides the music. And they keep talking about stuff. There's a character named Penny Lane. But yeah. And yes, so the film right away, like, I don't own this. I watched it on Paramount Plus. Because for some reason, they put it in a double feature pack with some other Nickelodeon movie named Rags, which I don't care about. But I've tried to buy this before and just, but upon looking up for this is one of the things I had to find, and it was on Paramount Plus, so there it is. So is the Big Time Rush show, which I might watch. I really enjoyed this. So I should mention that along for the ride, we have the four guys. Kendall, played by Kendall Schmidt, playing Kendall Knight. James Diamond, played by James Maslow. Logan, I don't know his last name, but he's played by Logan. I don't even know his real last name. And Carlos, played by Carlos Pena Vega, or Carlos Pena as he was, because he got married to Alexa Vega, and they combined their name, not only because they love each other, but because when Big Time Rush ended, they were under contracts that says they could not perform together unless they were on Nickelodeon. And so, they couldn't even perform under their own names. So Carlos had to combine it so he could produce his own music. That's part of it. So, yeah, the Nickelodeon. They're not as bad as Disney, but you know. And then along with the ride are Kendall's mom and his sister Katie. And of course, Gustavo and Gustavo's assistant Kelly, who became a main character starting with season 2. recurring in season 1. There are other characters that aren't in this, like Bitters, who's the manager of the Pine Woods where they live. Joe, who was Kendall's girlfriend. I don't know if they're together at this time, but at one point she was his girlfriend. And Camille, who is sort of a love interest for Logan, but they kind of go back and forth. It's will they want they thing. And then there's another character that wasn't introduced until season 4, I don't think. So she's not valid. And then there's Buddha Bob, played by the same guy who played Gordy on Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. Because he's like the Bruce Campbell of Scott Fellows comedies. He was on that, and he's on this. But then he also lends his voice to the British spy van that drives him around in this. So, and I don't know a lot of the actors. I know Teach Grant plays the guy in charge, British guy. He's not really British, I don't think. In charge of kicking off their tour of their concert that they're doing. And then Emma Lahana, aka the Yellow Ranger from Power Rangers Dino Thunder, is Penny Lane. So there's that for you. But yeah. So we start off in Carlos's dream, where they are super spies, and it's all set to help. I need somebody help, not just anybody help. You know I need someone help. Yes, and there's a bald villain, and they're saving a princess, and they're singing a Beatles song, and then it turns out that Carlos was actually asleep on the plane. They're a music band. Why don't they have their own private plane? They're on public transport. They're a regular plane. Why don't they have their own private plane? I think Gustavo would have his own private plane, but no, they're all on a regular plane. This way we can have this joke, I think. Get their own private suite. They can't have their own private plane. But yeah, and then Carlos is talking about his dream. He's like, in my dream, and it's just a dream. It's not going to happen. There's not going to be any spy stuff. Meanwhile, there's a villain named Moon, who is after something. Moon is the most exaggerated version of Dr. Evil. Not Dr. No, or not Blofeld, Dr. Evil. He's not bald. His whole thing is about having a cat. He's like, give me a cat! And he'll pet it, and he'll throw it to the side. Or there's the gag later where it's like, cat me! And it flies past him. And try it again! And then it flies past him again. Just hand it to me! You know, Moon is that Dr. Moon? I don't know. He's just the way exaggerated version of that. So, yeah. But, yeah. So, first thing, we see this spy guy, who I thought was the dad from the OC, but it's a totally different actor. And he's got this backpack that just so happens to match Kendall's backpack. And there's something in the backpack he wants to save, so he swaps it with Kendall's backpack. He's captured by the bad guy, Moon, and then they find there's just a bunch of stuff in there. And what happened to it? Well, it turns out Kendall has it. And where this gets weird is that not only are the bad guys after it, there's also British Secret Service, like MI6, are after it. And these two Swedish guys, for some reason, that just reminded me of Dude, Where's My Car? We want to continue transfunctioning it. Because, like, you know, only it made sense that they were in there because they were the good guys and the other hot alien chicks were the bad guys. And so there's that. But then you also have the punks. You know, Charlie O'Connell and his buddies chasing after him. But, I don't know. The Swedish people, it's like when they were writing, they saw Dude, Where's My Car? Like, oh, the Swedish dudes. Let's put Swedish guys in here. And they don't really make sense as to why they're there. There's no mention of who they work for or why they're doing this. So, who knows? But, yes. So, Kendall opens the backpack and finds the beetle, they call it. and he accidentally activates it, and it causes gravity to stop working and float in the air. This is after Gustavo has told them not to destroy their hotel room because there are people coming. But of course, this lifts everything in the room up. And then when he pushes the button and turns it off, it all smashes down. And then they are attacked by British Secret Service. One of them played by Tamaho Pinkett, who is actually Canadian. Yeah. And it turns out that Tamaho Pinkett actually works for MI6. And Gary Chalk, the voice of Optimus Primal. And he's been on Stargate and stuff. And MI6 is... I'm not sure that the British people would like this movie, as they treat British intelligence like they're idiots. And like Gary Chalk and this other woman is actually smart, but Gary Chalk is treated like he's the biggest idiot. And hats off, big clap to Gary Chalk for being okay to play stupid, because there's at one point he's just, later at the concert, he's like, big time rush shirt, he's going like this, and yeah, I don't know. But, yes. And of course, there's, they have to hide, so they put on disguises. And then we get the recreation of the Abbey Road album cover. Because of course we do. And, so they're rescued by Penny Lane, which Carlos keeps talking about his dream. He's like, we're super spies, we're gonna rescue the princess. And there's like, and the Beatles, and they call it the Beetle. The Beetle? They're like, she's not, what's the song? Anna Mackenzie. Eleanor Rigby, or another character. There's like, my name is Penny Lane. Penny Lane? Connor's just like, you know. Oh, there's also a running joke that Logan keeps getting hit with a tranquilizer dart. Really? Falls down. He keeps hitting with, and then his weapon later ends up being a tranquilizer dart, because they get ready to go and they're like, give me a weapon. And they hand him that, and he goes, of course. And then he's like, later it's like, I thought he was going to shoot himself in the head or something, but no, he does not. Yes, so it turns out that the secret agent that that hid the device, that swapped, that had the device and swapped the backpacks, was Penny Lane's father. And so they have to go rescue him, and so they arrange a meeting in the park because it's close to their sound check, which they do. Yes, and they say the names of songs. We're like, we can work this out. And then that's the song they sing next. Gotta see it my way. And then, so, yeah, they sing that song. And they just make it to the sound check. Meanwhile, Gustavo and Kelly have been kidnapped by British intelligence, by MI6. Because they have a clip of Gustavo saying he's going to take over the world. And, of course, he means, because the world tour, they're going all over the world, but they don't believe that. And when they try to explain it, they don't. So they, of course, have a Japanese man do bad karaoke to break them. But later it turns out that the Japanese man can't keep going because they won't admit the truth, because they are telling the truth. And basically that's what clues them into, oh, maybe they are telling the truth. Oh, they're just hard to break. And no, they're telling the truth. And they are. And then when Gustavo starts going off on them and Kelly says, we can take you to court or something, they just leave them in a field of sheep. For some reason. So the guys in Penny Lane are captured by Moon, who steals the beetle, but they're able to get away. He gets the beetle. They get the beetle, and able to get away through a toilet thing, which is sort of funny. Although there is a continuity issue, because when they come back up, when they go down, the henchman with the metal hammer for a hand breaks down the door. And when they come back up later, the door is fixed. So, and this is a different toilet. I don't know, but they go down a secret place. You know, it's like, oh, a phone. I can call my mom and laser. Okay, not a real phone. And then Logan finds a pen, and it's a dart, which he shoots into the butt of Agent Lane, pushing him to sleep, and the dart lasts longer than the darts that he was shot with because the guy's out for the rest of the movie. Literally. You see at the concert, she is holding her sleeping dad, moving his arms. It's like he is asleep for the rest of the film. So now it's up to the guys to save the day. Remember Carlos's dream? Well, we're into that. There is a subplot that I don't think was really necessary, but it has Katie, Kendall's younger sister, trying to fix up her mom with the Duke of Bath, because she thinks that he's royalty. It turns out he sells toilets. Duke of Bath. And then later at the concert, he's like, "Oh, you don't mind I sell toilets?" And she goes, "Well, as long as you don't mind that I hate toilets." And he's like, "It's not going to work out," and he leaves. And then they're introduced to the Earl of Sandwich, who they think is just someone who makes sandwiches, but it turns out he's third in line for the throne. Probably should have, but yes. So, but like Carlos said, there was a princess that was kidnapped, which I guess couldn't be Penny Lane for some reason. So it turns out to be Katie, because she says she wants to be a princess. She's wearing a tiara and a dress, and then Moon's henchman kidnaps her. So yes, and so the guys, they have to rescue Katie. They have to bring. Okay, so they're told by Moon to bring the beetle, or he'll kill Katie. He's told by them the communication. They come out of the toilet thing, and the Swedish guys take the bug, and land in a van that's owned by Moon, and the henchman is driving. So what was the point of sending them the message then, if they were right there the entire time waiting for them? Why send the message? So they'll leave? Okay, so by your rules, you have the bug, release Katie. No, they still have to go rescue her, because that was what was Carlos's dream. So they have to go rescue her for his dream to come true. But he has the bug, so he should let her go. No, he's a bad guy, but still, I don't know. So they okay, how do we do this? Well, Kendall and I came from down here. What do I do? And James asks, what do I do? And he's like, you fell from the sky and landed on the bad guy. Okay, I did what? So they have to figure out a way. They all go in and they start fighting, and we get to, you wanna, because Moon keeps saying throughout the film that he's going to start a revolution. So of course the song that plays when they fight him is, you say you want a revolution, well, so yes, they fight, and then of course the only way to stop Moon, because he has this special force field, for some reason the force field doesn't cover on top of him, so James has to go up top and jump down, but he's too scared, and he's been hitting on Penny Lane the entire movie, and so she kisses him, and he falls onto Moon, saving the day, basically, and he gets the bug, and yes, saving the day. Then they make it in time for their concert, which they sing one last Beatles song. There are 5 Beatles songs in this that they sing. Help, We Can Work It Out, Revolution, the last one they sing is, they're like, well, what do we sing? What else? And it's, What is it? I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was, but I remember the other two. But Wanna Hold Your Hand is on the soundtrack, but it's not in the movie. There's 6 Beatles songs on the movie. But they sing a Beatles song here. And then they sing Elevate, which is their song. But what's the Beatles song that they sing? Help. I need somebody help. A revolution. We can't work it out. We can't. Hard Day's Night. Hard Day's Night is the one they sing at the concert. And there's one other song that I don't remember they sing. Between Help and We Can Work It Out, there's another song. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, there's 5 songs to play in the movie. It's not Wanna Hold Your Hand, it's a different one. Yeah. And so they have the concert, and then they show Moon, because they stop Moon by having the, because he's got Katie, and he's like, okay, give it to me. Give it to him, Kendall. And he turns it on, and attaches it to him, and he flies up, which he should be dead now, because he's in the Earth's atmosphere. He's out of the Earth's atmosphere. But he's floating in the moon, and he goes, I'll get you a big time rush. And he gets a da-da-da-da, like music. And that's where it should have ended. Well, we got a couple more things after this. The Duke of Bath thing. And then Gustavo saying that, okay, we crushed London and we're going to take over the world. Stop saying that until he puts his, And then they are going to go sightseeing. They're like, let's make a deal that we will never put on a suit again. And then it turns out that the people that were driving their tour bus are the Swedish guys who just tell them, what was it? Oh, they give them Kendall's backpack. And then they take off. Gotta have a big time, or whatever they say, and they leave. Okay, now who's going to drive us? And so Agent Lane, who's finally awake, drives up in the van. I guess he's in the driver's side. Although, come to think of it, Kendall drives on a regular driver's side the entire time. So that's kind of messed up. It's a British van. Shouldn't he be on this side? This is my right side, which would be the passenger side on the car. But in England, they drive this side. So shouldn't he be on this side? But he's on the driver's side, American driver's side, over here. So when Agent Lane pulls up, he's not. And I guess he's supposed to be in the passenger side because the van drives itself, which the van can drive itself. They find it out later the van can drive itself. But even after that, Kendall still drives it for some reason. Although they say that he's not a very good driver. And after saying they'll never put on a suit again or be a secret agent, they're like, you come with us, we have to stop along the way. And they're like, it's like, okay, guys. But, yeah, that's how it ends. So, yeah. There's a TV movie, but if this was a regular movie, I would give it to the moon. And that's not just a pun because of moon. But I'm just saying, I love this. I love it. Love watching it every time. And it's fantastic. So, where'd the pen go? Where'd the pen? Logan? Oh, there it is. The pen. You gotta mark it off. You gotta mark off Big Time Rush. That means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. Movies left to do. Reviews left to do before I'm done. And I'm not even halfway through February. Because I did this in the end of January. So, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. February just started as I'm recording these, so finishing recording these, so jeez. So, what are your thoughts on Big Time Movie? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.